Good morning, everybody. Typically, we'd be having Mass today, but since the school is distance learning, we're not. And every day, Father Jim does a Homilette, so we thought we'd combine them. So we're in the church today. We have our Advent wreath with us, and Father Jim is going to provide a little bit of a morning prayer Homilette for us today. So get ready. Here he comes.
Good morning, TFS. Good morning, St. Francis. Like Mr. Watson said, today is Wednesday. It would have been our school community mass that we would have live streamed with kindergarten today. And unfortunately, because we are distance learning, we can't do that. And so what we're going to do is to combine the little reflection that I do in the morning for the parish, now with the homily that is shortened, that I would have given to the parish and to the school, to the kindergartners, if we would have had Mass today. Today is Wednesday, December the 16th, 2020. It is Wednesday of the third week of Advent. A great shift will happen after today, because from the first Sunday of Advent until the 16th of December, we have been in our prayers and in our readings, we've been looking forward to Jesus' return at the end of time, his second coming. Beginning tomorrow, December the 17th, we now shift our gaze to Jesus being born in history. Jesus being born in Bethlehem, the baby Jesus being born. But today is the last day to remember that we are people who look and wait in anxious and joyful hope for our Savior to return to us. And so we're going to take a look at the gospel for today, which is from Luke's gospel, and it goes, "At that time, John summoned 2 of his disciples and sent them to the Lord to ask, 'Are you the one who is to come, or should we look for another?' When the men came to the Lord, they asked, 'John the Baptist has sent us to ask you, are you the one who is to come, or should we look for another?' At that time, Jesus cured many of their diseases, sufferings, and evil spirits. He also granted sight to many who were blind. And Jesus said to them in reply, 'Go and tell John what you have seen and heard. The blind regain their sight, the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the poor have the good news proclaimed to them, and blessed is the one who takes no offense in me.'" As we draw to the close of this first part of Advent, and as we see ourselves living in this situation that we are now, again, we were moving forward, we thought, especially as a school, with being able to continue to come to school, with being able to continue to learn in person as we had before, and now all of a sudden it changes. And even outside of our schooling, the life that we were supposedly trying to live with the pandemic is now kind of being, limited in a lot of ways because of the increases in the spikes. And it would make perhaps many of us feel a little bit sad, that we can't be together, that we can't finish the school year the way that we wanted to, that we can't continue doing, all kinds of Christmas things that we thought we might be able to get in because things seem to be just okay. And it could lead to a lot of people feeling very sad and very depressed and very down because we can't be where we want to be. We can't do what we want to do. And yet today's gospel is very important because it's reminding us that even though we can't do what we want to do, even though it's difficult sometimes to deal with life and the things that happen in life and the disappointments that happen in life, there is still a lot that is happening. There is still a lot that is being done. And there's still a lot, that God is doing that is making a difference, that is making our world not just into a better place, but is helping us to see where God's kingdom is being revealed. And so for those of us in the school, the fact that we still can learn, the fact that we are still going to learn, it's not perhaps the way that we want it to be, it may not be the best way that we want it to be, but we have faculty, we have staff, we have Mr. Watson, we have Ms. DeSidel, we have Ms. Smith, we have Ms. Wazensky. We have all these people who are still here, who have not left, who have not disappeared, who have not run away, and who are still trying to push us forward, trying to help us to be able to learn, trying to help us be able to see that there is all kinds of good that is happening. When John the Baptist's disciples go to Jesus and they ask him, are you the one or should we look for another? Because really, we've had so many people come around and say that I'm he and this is that and this is the other thing. It's been one disappointment after another, and it's just enough basically to give up on it and walk away and run away. Jesus basically tells them, what do you see? Do you see all of this wonder? Do you see all of this goodness? Do you see all of these things that other people can miss so easily or take for granted? Jesus says, recognize those things that shouldn't be taken for granted. Recognize that wonder and that goodness that is always present in this world, because that's what Advent is asking us to remember and to hold on to and to embrace. It's a time to recognize the hope and the glory that is everywhere, all around us, because we can do hopeful and glorious things. We are always going to be this parish. We are always going to be this school, the Franciscan school. And we are always going to be that because we have each other to care for us, to care for each other, to look out for each other, and to help us accomplish what God has asked us to do. Although it may not be the way that we expected it to be, it doesn't mean that it isn't happening. For us to be that kind of witness in the world and those kind of people in the world helps us to remember just not what it is that we are as believers in this world, but helps other people look at us as believers and maybe think for themselves that there is a faith that maybe they can live to. And may the Lord give you peace.
Have a great Wednesday. See you later.